All right, so in this video, we're going to be going over the first method of scaling, which is called horizontal scaling. And for the example for this, I'm going to be using a messaging conversations or a messenger or DM ad as the example, just because the data is all in one spot. It's very easy, it's very clear. But if you are using a funnel where you're sending people off of Facebook or Instagram, if you're getting a purchase, if you're getting a lead, if you're getting people to sign up for your webinar, the same rules will apply. Just for the examples that I'm using a DM funnel. So without further ado, let's cover horizontal scaling. So horizontal scaling simply is just scaling something by duplicating a winner and then changing something so you can make that winner even better. And usually it's changing something very small. So that could be changing the headline, that could be changing the ad description, that could be making a small adjustment to the age range or the gender that you're targeting. It could be a change to the placements. I'm going to show quite a bit of essentially all the examples, what could be considered horizontal scaling. And there's a little bit more of an aggressive side to horizontal scaling, and then there's a little bit more of a tame, not as risky side to horizontal scaling. So let's get right into it. I'm going to use this messaging campaign as an example. So we can see right here, I'm going to use this one right here. You can see in the past, and just like I spoke about in the previous video, I always love looking at yesterday first and then comparing that to the 3 and 7 day time frames. So we can see that yesterday we spent $15 on this campaign and we got 8 messages at $1.92 a message. That's awesome. This campaign is crushing it and I would love to scale it at these same results. So before we scale that, let's see if, hey, was yesterday just a lucky day or not? So let's go ahead then and filter for the past 3 days. So 17 to the 19 here. And we can see that we're still getting good amount of messages at a pretty solid cost. And then I'm going to take a look at the last 7 days, and it's pretty consistent right around that 256 mark overall for the past 7 days. Now let's look a little bit deeper. Just one ad set here, so pretty simple. And let's first do our horizontal scaling method. Before we decide what to change, I want to see what's lacking to see what we can possibly improve. So I've got my columns here set to performance and clicks, and we're going to look at the 7 day time frame to see overall what could be improved. And since today it's almost the end of the day, let's just look and see what today's doing. Still pretty solid. Okay. Past 7 days, we got $10 per 1,000 impressions, $1.35 per link click, 0.78 link click-through rate, and 2.2 CTR. The biggest low-hanging fruit that I see is this link click-through rate. And let's also go ahead and add in unique outbound click-through rate. Okay, this doesn't help because for messaging campaigns that doesn't happen. But for this one, I think the copy could be improved and maybe even the headline. So let's take a look here, and to horizontally scale this thing, we're going to duplicate it in the original campaign. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the date on here. So we duplicated this November 20th. And I'm going to call it, at the beginning, I'm going to put HZ. Ooh, well, that's something I didn't even notice. There's three ads here. So which one specifically is bringing in all the results? This one right here. Okay. Launch a full coaching business. Okay, so let's duplicate. Let me make sure I got the right one here. It's one with the rocket. Duplicate, original campaign. Let's change this to 11/20, just so I know what date I duplicated it. I always love doing that. And then I'm going to do horizontal scale, coaching headline test, right? And I think once again, we're going to delete these 3 other ads right here because I don't want to test 3 different ads. I just want to test one test at a time. And let's take a look. So I'm going to go through all the horizontal tests that you could do, and then I'll end with the one that I'm actually going to be doing. So first things first, horizontal scaling. I would keep the budget the same. If you'd like to, you can bump it up by 10, maybe 15%. once again, you're still scaling this campaign. Whether you added an extra $15 to the original or duplicate it, you're still adding $15 to your daily budget. So don't forget that. If you want to up it by a little bit, you can. And that's what I'm going to do here. And we'll see how that does. So that's not the scaling method, right? That's just budget answering that question. For scaling, a couple things here. Horizontal scaling. First thing that you can do, add in a new location. We've got Canada and US. We could add in United Kingdom, Australia, wherever else you want to target. That's one option. The second option is to adjust the age a little bit. You could very easily, by just lowering this down to 23, maybe increasing it to 58, you're going to get a couple hundred or so other thousand people, which could help. Now, because there's nothing lacking in the audience side of this, I'm going to leave those alone. You could do the same with gender. I would not touch or change anything in the detailed targeting right here because that's a core part of your ad. It's not a minor change, whereas those are. Next, moving down, is changing the placements. So right now we've got it in Advantage Plus or automatic placements. A really easy thing that we could do is flip this to manual placements and just focus in on the ones that are doing the best for us. So right now in this campaign, we're only doing Facebook Messenger. So we could uncheck Instagram and Audience Network, keep it on Facebook and Messenger, and we could really hone in on just Facebook feed only. We could do Facebook Messenger stories, Facebook Reels. I don't think we should do in-stream videos because this isn't even a video ad. Search is okay. I don't think we should do instant article. That's a really easy change, right? Then looking at the ad, what's some other things that we can do to horizontally scale this thing? We could change a couple different things here. One is we could change this top part of the copy, and this is called the lead-in. This is the part that people see on the ad first. So a really easy test to do is just simply changing this top portion up here. Another really easy thing to do is to change this headline right here into something different. So for example, I'm going to go to a handy dandy copy sheet that we got, and let's actually make that change. Let's see what we can do. What's working here? Launch a full coaching business in 3 days. Let's see here. Click to try this full-time coaching income system. I like this one. And this headline could be a little against policy. And let's do this. We'll give that a shot. Click to try this coaching income system. So boom, right there, there's another really easy scaling method. Another one is you could add in or remove or change the description. We don't have one on this ad, so I'm not really going to do anything there. Then the other easy one to do is by changing the call to action. So you could change this to learn more, apply now, contact us, sign up, subscribe. We could do that as well. And let's see why. There we go. And that should be everything. So there we go. Now, what we want to do before you launch this is you want to make sure you change the ad here in the description. So we know we're testing the headline. And what I'm going to do, whoops. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to say headline test 11:20, so we know when we started it. Now with naming conventions, there's obviously a video that we have on that. Naming conventions, there's tons of different options that you could do. You should just do something that works best for you and your team, or for you to clearly understand so that whenever you log on, you know what's going on, right? So for this one, we're just doing a headline test, and we'll go ahead and launch it. And that's very simply how you can horizontally scale your ads. Remember, the goal here is just to add more budget so you can get more results. That's the goal of scaling. The goal of scaling is to be able to get more results out of your budget. And a really easy way to do that is horizontally scaling it. It gives you a really easy option to test something small and quick. You don't need to think about it much. You see, this video took me, we're 10 minutes in right now, and it probably take you half the time if you weren't talking through it. So it's a very quick, easy way to find something that's winning, bolt on a new test to it to see how that does, and still maintain the winning formula of the ad. So you're not losing that formula of the ad that's winning, right? You're not completely testing something new, and you're adding budget to your campaign. So this is a really easy way to test new things. I love horizontally scaling, and I think a lot of people don't think about this. And you can apply it in all the different other methods that we're going to be talking about. So that's the first method, horizontally scaling. Just to recap, what you want to do is you want to find a winner that's been winning for the past 3 days or longer, if you even really more want to solidify that, but at least winning for the past 3 days straight. Then you want to duplicate that winner, either keep the budget the same or increase it by 10 to 15%, and then change one really small thing, one minor thing in the ad, right? Audience, copy, and creative are not necessarily things you can change. I would not change the copy unless you're just going to change a very small piece. I wouldn't change, the headline is something small that you can change, and I would recommend doing that. The audience, just change some small settings. Don't change anything major. And then in the creative, I really wouldn't touch the creative at all. And use, if you're stuck on what should I test, I don't know if I should test age or headline or lead in, use the stats once again to tell you, like I spoke about in the previous video, use these stats to tell you what to test. And for me, because we had this lower link click-through rate, and I feel like this cost per link click could be even lower, copy made sense to me. And I don't want to change the whole copy, so headline is the next best thing. So if you guys got any questions on this, let me know. In the next video, we're going to be covering vertical scaling. That's very simple as well. And then we'll get into some more advanced scaling tactics. But in the beginning, especially if you're only spending, even if you're spending $100 a day, you can go a long, long ways with vertical and horizontal scaling. So give it a shot. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one.